All right, guys. So we are back with the latest episode of the Envisions Podcast. We have a very special guest here with us. His name is Juan. He's a reseller. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Juan Rivera. I've been in business for 2 years. Started when I was 13, man. Pushing it, with the right people. And,
It still surprised me that you're 15. Just because, you're doing school. I'm assuming full-time, obviously. Yes. You're in high school. It's a stupid question. You're doing school, but then, how do you kind of factor, your reselling into it? Are you just, doing it at school?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do it in school as much as I can, but honestly, the barbers have been a big impact on my life, too, because without the barbers in my family, none of this happens, When I'm not there, they do the selling for me when I'm not at the shop.
Okay.
And I try to be giving them commission, but nah, I got you. And that means a lot to me, because they really, without them, a lot of stuff wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. Of course, my family, of course.
That's huge. Family's big. I mean,
100%.
I think it's the same thing with me too. Is we're in my house. I don't pay the mortgage. My parents are kind of letting me use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my parents are also very, very supportive. When I started this, they're just kind of whatever you need, let us know, things like that. And I think that's been something that's been very, very helpful for all of us. But yeah, no, I mean, how long did you say you've been reselling?
2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years. It's going to be 2 years in the end of December, I think. Yeah.
Wow. All right. And then for people who don't know, can you talk about your setup, the store? What does that kind of look like?
To set up a store, it's at 544 John Fitch Highway. If y'all don't know who it is, it's in a barbershop. My dad owns the barbershop, and my sneaker resale store is inside the barbershop. If y'all don't know what it is, if you haven't seen it anywhere, go check it out. Honestly, yeah. So it has kind of that the good setup too with the breaks and you just gotta go check it out. You just gotta go and see. But yeah, it's a little setup, nothing crazy. I mean, pretty simple.
It's pretty nice though. It looks
clean.
really good.
It's
yeah.
clean.
So how did that come about? Did you just start reselling before you had that, or was that kind of the same time? And your dad was come in and.
I mean, I came up to my father. One day I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a barbershop and a sneaker resale into one store. And I told my dad, I came up to him and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, are you going to be committed? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be committed.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, man, that Sunday we went there, we grinded it out. We were there the whole entire day just doing it. We got the wood. We just made something out of nothing. Trying to make it look kind of like with the shop at the same time. And, we got people to set up the wood. We got the lights. We just got everything. And that next week after that, we went to New York to go invest in what I had into just clothes and a couple shoes. I had at least $2,000. I got that money from making $10 a week working at the shop on Saturdays
really?
from 6 a.m. to not even coming home at 1 a.m. scrubbing toilets.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
I do it for the passion. I love what I'm doing, man.
You still scrubbing the toilets?
Yes. I'm proud of it. I have a smile on my face when I do it.
I respect it.
I'm like, thank you, Lord. I get to scrub these toilets. It's just
that's
I'm very grateful.
That's awesome.
Very grateful.
Yeah, so when you first said that, I was like, okay, so your dad was that quick to say yes, you can do this, but I guess you've been doing it your whole life, and you he already saw everything he needed to see.
I mean, he at that time he was kind of pushing me. He's like, yo, Juan, it's time you gotta start figuring out what you want to do, because my dad, he had his own experience and he didn't really get into what he did later on. He just wanted me to be ahead of the game and ahead of my time. So he was always about that. He always pushed me, and my family always pushed me. And then, I don't know, I always loved shoes. I always wanted these Jordans. My dad got it for me. Semi-formals in 8th grade. He would bring me to Get Your Sneakers.
Okay.
Shout out to Get Your Sneakers. Get Your Sneakers. I would go there, and it was when it started. And I love these shoes. He got me them. We went there 3-4 times, got a bunch of sneakers. And I was like, hey, maybe I can start doing this. And, thoughts just came. And then everything, honestly, just came into place. God had everything set up for me in a way,
I think that's something that I say a lot, too. Is, the hardest part is just starting it. And then after you start it, God will just put all the resources you need.
Especially when you pray, man. Not for nothing. God, when you pray, He answers in certain way. Like, off of what I've been doing, I lost friends. I gained new friends. I met you guys, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, and certain things, because I've been like, yo, I want to start my own clothing. I want to do this. And then, boom, you guys came out of nowhere.
Exactly.
And I was like, yo, what's going on? And that's why I'm like, you know, I'm just so grateful, honestly. I'm just so blessed to be where I'm at right now today, and we're only going to go further. You know, this is just the beginning.
Exactly.
And I can't wait to see what he has in store for us and my family and for everybody who's around me, honestly. For the future, honestly. That's just where I'm at.
Exactly.
You know?
Crazy.
I think that's really powerful that you're 15 and you already can realize that the power of who you're around. I think that's something that we see more and more. We're both in college, graduating college, and that's kind of when most people still haven't even figured it out yet. And we're really like into that, where it's like you know these are the people I'm supposed to be around, and the more you do the thing that you want to do, you find the people that want to do it with you and are there to see you succeed in it. And you lose people along the way, but those aren't the right people.
Yes.
And to do that in high school is okay, it's just crazy.
What were you doing when you were 15?
Photos.
You do photos?
Yeah,
wow.
since like middle school.
Bro, when I was 15, I was like playing Fortnite.
What made you get into
It
like,
was before Fortnite.
what made you get into like photos and stuff? You just
That's something I started when I was younger. I just did it for fun, and then in high school with COVID, I just had so much time, started doing it a lot more, and then started doing it for work, and
That's
it just
cool.
kind of spiraled. And it's another thing where it just kind of all falls into place, and you just do it and you love it.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, it's the thing too. It's just like everything just falls into place. Like when you need it to be. Like I met so many people. Like and everything. Like since we started the brand, everything just kind of like came into place. Where like I was like, oh, I just met a famous boxer, and then like fast forward a couple months, 504 is wearing my hat.
Yeah, that
And
was sick. I saw that. I was
yeah,
like,
like
what?
like it's just like when you start something, things just like happen for you. You know, and like people are just you never met them. Like I didn't know you a year ago.
Yeah.
Most of the people that like, I'm working with now, I didn't know them a year. I didn't even know them 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Or you wouldn't imagine knowing them that long ago. You just wouldn't like know that it would all fall into place that way, or be able to reach those people that you're able to reach.
Yeah, that's been like the biggest thing. So like going back to like school, what are your plans for like the future as far as like school?
You know, when I'm in school right now, after school, I like to get into barbering. I want to step in the family business of cutting hair. I'm going to barber college this summer to start, because I have to be 16 enough to go start. And then after that, I like to get my realtor's license, get into real estate a little bit too. And yeah, I want to get into that as well. I'm just a hands-on guy. I like to get into anything I can get that makes me money,
That's the best way to be.
or just to experience what I like and don't like. You know, so I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What made you guys? Because I remember one time you came to my shop. What made you guys like come?
I more so came. It was about the Game On sponsorship. You remember that?
Yes.
I more so came because like, so I told you about that Game On order. Is like we were like looking for like sponsors and we want to get like local, businesses and things like that. So like the first time when we came to the shop, I went there trying to get you guys to sponsor the uniforms, because like it would have been beneficial for you guys with like the pop-ups and the exposure and everything. But I remember I talked to your dad, and your dad had me come and like talk to you. But after that I came back, I talked to you on like, yeah, you guys didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
But then
like, I don't know.
I mean, dude, like it is what it is. Like you guys didn't meet me the first time. Like if I came to you with the idea now, you guys would probably be a little bit more open to it. You know what I mean? 100%. But if like somebody just coming in the first time that you meet them, they're like, oh, give me $500, you're gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
it was just like kind of like the friendship too. I've heard of you too, cause at my shop when I first started, I have no clothing in. I had Route 1, shout out to Route 1, One Route. They got their stuff and they came to me, supporting me, and I was supporting them in a way. Put their stuff in my shop, and then I got Anthony. Stay Focused.
I think that's where I first heard of you.
Shout out to Stay Focused too. He got their stuff in it, and I was like, "What is this brand?" And it was like Envision. You gotta go check them out. And I was like, "Okay." And word around the shop was going Envision, and then you came in, and I was like, "Oh, this is the guy." So I was like, "Oh, this is him."
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay."
That's crazy. Shout out to Anthony. What's he up to nowadays?
I miss that guy, man. He's in Florida, right?
Yeah, he's in Florida.
He's chilling right now.
Damn, good for him. honestly.
He's working. I see him posting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like have thought about moving away, but at the same time, it's like if I'm building the business here, like the business is growing very steadily.
Yes.
You know, like we're doing a lot of different collaborations, a lot of like new collaborations too. So if it's like if we just move away right now, sure you could probably grow the business, but it wouldn't mean as much because you're not doing it in the place you grew up in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, is your dad from around here too and everything?
Yeah, he's from around here.
You guys too? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you said that barbershops are running your family. Is it just your dad?
Just my dad.
Really?
My dad, he started from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. To build where he's at right now, it's really rare.
Because the shop is massive.
Yeah, it's just where he's worked he worked really hard to where he's at right now.
Oh, I bet you don't get like that kind of exposure like just by just overnight. Like that definitely took a lot of time. He built it up.
And at the same time, like dealing with, because not even only he's a business over that, he's an instructor at Alexander's Academy as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
And at the same time, like training me into becoming who I am now, it's a lot for him on his shoulders too. Gotta throw his flowers out there,
Yeah,
100%.
I like your dad a lot. Your dad's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. You get to know him.
How long has he been cutting hair?
What do you mean for like?
How long has your dad been cutting hair? Like,
he's been cutting hair ever since he was my age.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Before that, I don't know. That's what he always told me.
Oh, wow.
Told me before I came here. He's like, I've been cutting since I was 15. He would cut inside his mom's house before semi-formals and all that. He cut all his friends. That's what he always told me.
That's super cool.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
I cut a lot.
Pretty much.
Do you play any sports?
I'm doing wrestling currently.
Okay, cool.
I did everything when I was a kid, but now I'm just doing wrestling, and that's it. It's harder wrestling.
It's not bad though. I mean, honestly, like I think that's another thing is like in doing business. I forget what it was. It was another podcast. But a guy was talking about like he was a businessman, he was an entrepreneur, but he was talking about the importance of physical health and how that like correlates to your business. So like basically one of the things that he was talking about was like if you don't have the discipline to like get up and go to the gym or like get up and go to practice, you're not gonna have the discipline to like.
And it has a big effect on your mental health too.
Exactly.
Because you have to have the dedication to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then that goes, I gotta wake up to go to my business.
Mm-hmm.
So it all falls in place at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's where that comes from. It's interesting. It's like a nerd fact, but like kind of what you're going off of. They just had I don't know if this is what you saw, and maybe that's what they brought up, but they had just done like a research and found that of like the 500 Fortune 500 companies, like 97% of the CEOs had played sports through high school growing up, which is really interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
So had you done stuff? So you're a sophomore now?
Yes, I'm a sophomore.
So did you do wrestling last year too?
I've been doing wrestling ever since I was 4.
Okay, cool. So you're all the way into it.
I stopped 2 years and I started again last year.
Okay.
So I did it my freshman year. I was a 160 freshman varsity going for 180 varsity. I don't know, my coach wanted me up there, I guess. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's insane. 180?
180. I got smacked around. But yeah.
And you go to Fitchburg?
Yes.
Okay.
I go to Fitchburg High. That's my school.
Mm-hmm.
I love that school. I got my mom working there too, so.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So like, you grew up in Fitchburg your whole life?
Yes.
Yeah.
I grew up in Fitchburg.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I just grew up in Fitchburg.
It's not bad. Do you think that like, you plan on staying around here after you graduate? Do you think like you wanna maybe keep the shop there but like expand to something larger?
I see myself still around this area.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see myself in Fitchburg, but I see myself around pretty close to where I'm at. I mean, like, whatever God takes me, wherever He takes me.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
100% with Him.
100%. So like, as far as like, I know you mentioned a lot about like, school and sports and like, I'm sure like homework and everything. How do you like go about time management with selling shoes?
Honestly, I just try to go whenever I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned all that again from my father. Like, he'll push me just to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the shop to clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mad. I was like, oh, why are you waking me up? But at the end of the day, now I kind of understand more. He was more like he's preparing me.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, you know, there's gonna be a time where I have to wake up 6 a.m. to pack up to go to an event. There's gonna be a time where I have to wake up 6 a.m. to go to the shop to cut a client.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a time, you know. So it's everything, you know. Yeah.
So what does a regular day look like then? At this point,
a regular day. I mean, a regular day, man. For me, like today, I go to school, do my work from other classes in another class at the same time, you know. Working on my business in class, writing down notes, writing down ideas, trying to figure out the next big thing, what's coming up for thumbs up kicks. Always something in my mind. How can I brand myself? What's the next step for me?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next? Where we're gonna step up? When's the next drop coming out? What can I keep this thriving and spreading out more?
Mm-hmm.
And I go to wrestling, do what I gotta do. I don't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night to go to bed and to repeat the same thing the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's a mindset.
Exactly.
It's a mindset.
So you take
Yeah, you really have to be dedicated. You saw what I did there? Yeah.
I mean, no, but like that's, sorry, you were gonna say something, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, so you just go from wrestling and then you go back to the store?
Yeah.
Just kind of...
I try to go back to the store. You know, my sister is at dance till like 9, 10 o'clock, so I'll just be putting in hours at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just go home and go to bed. I don't hang out with my friends. I don't do none of that no more. You know, that's too, because ever since I was young, I always hanged out with old, like, no offense, like people who were older than me.
Yeah.
I do too.
Like, with you, I talk to you, like, you know, I hang out with you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I can. Barbers, too, I talk to them when I was like this. I always got advice from certain people, not only my father, but people who really looked out for me. Like, other people, like, yo, Juan, you gotta do this. Just throwing ideas in. Oh, Juan, don't do that. And they're just different concepts of what they think about me for other people really determine on how I should treat people and act towards certain people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
that makes sense then, like going back to what we said in the first couple of minutes where you're comfortable with that. You're comfortable with being, you know where to be, you know the right circles to be in, you're comfortable. You kind of grew up in that anyway.
Yes.
That's really powerful. So, like talking about the business side of it, how much have you learned about business? Where are you kind of learning about the business? And I guess, talk about the business part of it a little bit.
When I first started, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't that good at it. I've learned through 8th grade when I started, I was selling candy to all my friends. I'll go to Family Dollar or someone on the street, like the randomest like person that would sell it for the cheapest and try to make something out of it. And my dad was trying to learn with the more bigger money aspect of that, and I wasn't really getting it at first.
Okay.
But then it catched on eventually, and I started learning my profits, gains, my loss. And my dad, he told me something too. He was like, listen, if you want to get into the business, you got to study the craft. If you really want it, you got to go into it and you got to learn everything you can about the business, you know, like anything. You got to know your product. You got to know what you're selling. What's it called? How much you're selling it for? You have to network that product. Make people want to buy it, you know, and stuff like that. What prices? Inflation's going up. You got to raise the prices. You got to lower the prices. We're going to an event. You're going to give something for free. You're going to brand yourself, or you're going to do something. You know, it's just like a whole, you got to get ready for that. And he was mentally preparing me for those kind of things. And eventually, at one point, I had another location, a second location in Leominster. My dad got it from somebody, and I was like, hey, I want to do it. And I rented it out. I paid rent to him for like 2-3 months, and eventually I was like, no, I can't do this. It was either going to be a barbershop or a sneaker place. And we were kind of back and forth with it. We went a little bit, did a couple stuff, and then eventually we just, you know, let it go and more focused on the shop and the shoes at that place.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting. So your dad's been around here for a long time too,
A
right?
long time.
Okay. Yeah, I think like that's the best way to do it, because like a lot of people do know like Thumbs Up Cake, like Thumbs Up Barbershop. Even before I lived in Fitchburg, like when I went to Monty Tech, a lot of people were like, "Oh, like I got my cakes and shoes from Thumbs Up." The first time I went, like when I went to like talk to your dad about the business, but like I was amazed when I went in there, because like it's been like 20 minutes away from me my whole life, and I just never knew about it. You know what I mean? So
that's good to know too. Other people's perspective of the shop, it really means a lot too. And you know, anything. Oh, how can I keep people be like, wow, this shop looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
How can you make it look better? You know, anyway, you know, any information means a lot. Us too.
Yeah, you guys do a great job too. And I think pulling out of that, so I think sneaker reselling in particular is really difficult business, and I think people are always way quicker to get into it than to really stick with it, and you've obviously stuck with it.
Yes, it's a lot too.
It's a lot, and I think you've been pretty successful with it, and like you said, you're moving stuff pretty well. How much of that do you think comes from growing up in the barbershop and learning, because you always talk about, there's always like the whole business idea of a barbershop where all it is it's kind of just about the experience, and you get a good haircut, but people are going to come to the same place over and over again just because they're having a good experience.
Yes.
So do you take that into sneaker reselling?
Yes,
you're just
100%.
you're selling somebody else's product, like, to be honest. But so how does that kind of come in? How do you get people to come to you?
100%. Because not only barber, you just learn how to cut hair, you learn about the aspect of like street business, you know, in a way, because you got transactions where you do $30 for a cut. Oh no, you didn't get. People try to rip each other off in a way. And people would come in. I remember this guy one day, he would always come in with CDs, trying to sell CDs. People come in with colognes, trying to sell colognes. And it was just a mind game. Oh, I'll give you this for $30. Oh no, I'm charging $40. Well, I'm making $35 in the middle. Like, stuff I catched on to when I was a little kid, the aspect of selling was at the shop too. A really big part as a kid. And like, when you cut the hair, you gotta make a good design, make it look nice, do the fresh fade. Present people, so when they walk around the stores, they'd be like, yo, I want to get that same cut, make other people buy it. Same thing in the clothing aspect. Yo, that clothing looks nice. Yo, where'd you get that? Let me go get that clothing too. So yeah, 100%. The shop has definitely made a big impact on where I'm the sneaker reselling as well. 100%. Wow, I didn't even think of that. Now you got me thinking.
You never know. You just kind of pick stuff up sometimes, and then you don't think about it.
You don't think about it at all.
No.
One time, going back to selling like cologne and stuff, one time I was I forget what barbershop, but like some guy came in trying to sell cologne, and then like one of the barbers bought it, paid like $50 for it, and then he sprays it, and it's just like water. It's straight water.
Yeah, no playing too. That's what I'm saying.
It's just
like
straight
same thing like
water.
if I was selling reps.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just straight water. And he like sprays it a couple times, and he like goes up to the guy, and he was like, yo, like, this isn't even cologne. And the guy like slaps it out of his hand and runs out of his It was
That's
the funniest thing. Oh my god. Them barbershop stories are always kind of crazy. Do you have any crazy barbershop stories?
I mean, there's been a bunch. I mean, there's talk about fights to robberies. People have robbed the shop, and a bunch of stuff goes on at the shop.
What about like as far as like reselling? Like, I know, of course, reselling is like big right now, but like the rep market is also
the rep market is going
right
up. And Nike, I don't know if you guys heard, Nike's trying to stop resellers too. That's a big thing too that's going on. Like this guy, I saw his video on Instagram. He was destroying the Grinch boxes, trying to stop resellers. They're coming down to a point where people can return their shoes back for retail at the sneaker stores to put it up on their market, and they cut off StockX and GOAT and all that just to make it just a Nike store. And retail prices are going up, so people can't really buy it and resell it. I mean, regardless of what Nike does, I don't really think that they can really stop resellers, because anyway, people can like go to other places and sell it for more than what they got it for. Regardless, even if it's the market's like this high, people can sell it for an extra $5-10. You can't stop that.
They'll keep doing it.
They're gonna keep doing it. And yeah, it's just that too. What was I talking about? I was gonna touch on something else too. Yeah, and the reps too. The rep market is going up. The rep market is going up a lot. I bought reps one time. It's a whole story. It was actually a couple weeks ago. This guy tried to sell me some shoes, and I looked at the box. I know what they were. There were some Jordan 4s. There were Oreos. There were 2 pairs of sneakers. And the guy goes, okay. He was kind of like an old guy. He was like in his mid-50s, you can tell. And then he was like, I was like, how much you want for them? He was like, they're brand new. I want like $80 a pair. And I was like, what? The market on them was like $500 and plus. I was like, whoa, you sure? And he was like, yeah. I got ahead of myself. The price was way too good to be true. I thought
underestimated
him.
Yeah, his age.
And thought, okay, this guy doesn't know his game. This guy doesn't know his P's and Q's. Maybe he's just trying to hook me up. I don't know. So I gave him the $160 cash, and then I bring him to the back. He was like, okay, man, I'll see you later. And he was like, man, you know where I got this from, right? He was like, where? I was like, put me on. He was like, I got it from the TikTok shop. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, you got it from the TikTok shop? He was like, yeah. He's like, but anyways, I gotta go. He leaves the shop, and I was like, wait. So I go there, I check the thing, and I was like, oh, man, they're fake.
No, it's like obvious.
And I was like, damn. But they were size 11, so my pops just took them, and he wears them. We don't care.
Nobody cares anymore.
That's what I'm saying. But as a sneaker reseller selling at my shop, that's not a good rep for me.
No.
Because if I was to sell, even if I was to say, hey, the reps, I'm selling them, people are going to be like, yo, if that's reps, maybe all these shoes are reps too.
Exactly.
So it was like, yeah, I got played crazy, and I'll never, ever go through that. And, you know, sometimes you have to go through, like, experiences to learn from those experiences so that won't ever happen again. Yeah. Stuff like that has to happen in your life regardless. So you can learn.
Yeah, that's literally the aspect of learning from your mistakes. Because, I mean, I'm sure that's happened to every single reseller. Because even right now, like, I forget what it was. There's a pair of shoes, and, like, they were reps, but, like, I did not tell. Because I was like, yo, like, those are really nice shoes, yada, yada, yada. And then he was like, thanks, like, they're reps. And I'm just like, dude, like, those don't look like reps at all.
Kind of glad that you're kind of saying that, because like we said, there's probably other people that have done that same thing, but I don't see them talking about it. And I think reselling is kind of like another weird place where it's kind of entirely based on reputation. Like we said, it's like the same thing as a barbershop. Like if you got your person and you trust them, then you're going to keep going. But I think we were just talking about it is the other aspect of like, the all the people that are going to love you, you're probably going to have the same amount of people that hate you, and that's if you're doing it right. If everyone loves you, then something's off. You're not doing something right. So I don't know, we kind of see it all the time, and I think it's kind of said all the time, but if you want to stand out and you want to be different than everybody else, then you got to have just as much hate as you have for the people that love you, and that's how you're going to grow. You can't just be mediocre all the time.
I've heard a bunch of people say, oh, you're weird for doing this.
Exactly.
But you're weird because you're not being different. You're going with the same crowd. I think that's kind of weird.
I think so too.
Because people will be judging me. Oh, you're the outsider. You're different. I think that's normal. I mean, nothing's normal. I mean, at the same time, it's just what people think. I don't really judge what people think, but at the same time, it's like.
But it's kind of annoying because it's like, sure, you're comfortable like doing what everybody else is doing, but I'm not. You know what I mean? It's like there are some people that will just wake up and like they'll just go about their day, and then that's what everybody else is doing. But it's like I don't want to just do that. Like I have my own things that I want to do. I have my own things, and like I think a lot of people realize that too late in their life, and that's what screws them up. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, they just like wake up day to day, and then like their only job is to just hate on people. Like they see people doing something cool, and then they're not doing it, or like they're not doing anything like near that aspect. So like their first instinct is to be like, nah, they're not gonna make it. I don't like them. X, Y, and Z. You know.
And it's sad because we live in a world full of sin. I want to get there too. I'm really a heavy believer in God too. I feel like
I like that.
I'm a heavy believer. I'm with God 100%. But I feel like we live in a world full of sin where people like, if you see someone coming up, people don't really like to see that instead of just supporting you or trying to make it better than what this guy did. Me, if I see somebody doing good, I'd be like, okay, this guy's doing good. How can I do something like that or better?
Exactly.
I don't want to be the same as that guy. I want to do where he's at, but in my own different kind of aspect and way of doing it.
Exactly.
I never wish everybody who I had beef with, everybody who disliked me, I never put any sort of hate on them. I'll pray to God, be like this. Listen, I hope they understand, and I hope they can improve themselves in a way where they can be better as a person. That at the end of the day, that's what I want for people. I never wish I hate on nobody. I'm all full of love.
I think that's what separates those people that do become the greatest at what they do, and those that just get stuck not even looking up, that just get stuck trying to tear each other down. Like you said you look up at that person, and then you say, how am I going to be better than them? And it's not in a malicious way. You're not trying to beat them. You're just trying to
100%.
learn from them what they're putting out there,
Exactly.
and how do you make your own version of that and succeed
Yes.
parallel to them.
Yes.
Whereas other people are just trying to find a way to grab them and tear them down
And,
and
like,
bring them to their level.
Not even be best friends with them or try to get close to them so they can give me pointers and tips.
Mm-hmm.
Not be best friends with them just to take their spot.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You know, I'm 100%.
And that's something that we say like very often as well, is like in life, in like real life, there's not really anything like as competition. You know what I mean? It's like there's a million brands out there. Not all of them are competing with everybody else. Like they're all just kind of like working together. Like right now, you and I are making clothes together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like I can make clothes with somebody else, and that doesn't affect my relationship with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything in life is just like a collaboration, not like
Yeah,
competition.
that's the real way to think about it. And the perfect example is we worked with Getcha Sneakers, and we're working with you, and Getcha Sneakers doesn't show up at your door and try to burn down your barber shop, and you don't go and try to steal all their stuff. Like, you guys exist separately, and you both serve different types of people too.
And I believe in a way too, like people I've seen, I heard a lot of people, all my friends, be like, oh, yo, I'm self-made. At the end of the day, no one's self-made.
No one's self-made.
Because at the end of the day, how were you born? Your parents made you.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, how did you remember how to speak? Your parents helped you, made you speak. And not even if your parents weren't there was always some sort of guidance to act the way you act, even if it's good or bad aspect.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no one is self-made in that way. And, as I believe, if you want to be successful, you have to do it with a team.
Mm-hmm.
I believe like you gotta surround yourself with good people and people who want to work and people who see your vision and want to be with you in that vision and to help you out with that vision. At the end of the day, it's a team effort. You know, just like how you guys are doing collaborations with
100%.
Getcha Sneakers, me, Sneaker Supplier, everybody. It's a team effort in this. We're all in this together. That's what I think, at least.
No, that's spot on too. You talked about kind of the people you're working with older than you, and not everyone at school sees it, but do you have people at school that are kind of behind you and know what you're into? Do you see that kind of culture?
Yes, honestly, I feel like I've had a big impact on kids that were my age.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, when I step in that room, I don't have to talk about it because they already know. My network speaks for itself. I don't want to be like, yo, I own this business, I own this. I let my actions speak for their words. And not in a cocky way or a humble way. Like, yo, this guy's on his P's and Q's. He knows what he's doing. And I feel like people were trying to do that same thing I'm doing with the sneaker reselling. And honestly, I respect it. I try to put people on. I had a couple of friends who were selling sneakers. I'd be like, yo, what do you want? You want these? I'll hook you up for the good price. You hook me up, I'll hook you up. Make close relationships with those people in case if they get big, they'd be like, yo, help me out a little bit.
Yeah. You go
I'm
together.
the one that put you on at the end of the day too. And now you said that, like I feel like I've had a bit. I'm trying to be a motivator, someone that people can look up to, and people who I can inspire to be better. I want to be that type of role model.
Yeah.
I want to be that role model in a way.
And even just for your classmates, and that's super cool. And I'm sure there are the ones that, even if they don't say it, that they kind of see you. They see you working in class, getting all your work done. Even that just stands out. You just know that like you're the one that stands out, one to look up to, and they see what you've done and can like directly. You sit in class with you 7 hours a day. Like that's got to rub off somehow.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's a little unfortunate though that like sometimes like going back to what we were kind of talking about is like the people that are your age that like you kind of grew up with, those are also the ones that like you expect to support you, but they're also the ones that don't support you.
Yeah, sadly.
Like, do you face that a lot?
Sadly, it's like that. I mean, honestly, I read people right out. People be like, yo, Juan, where's my discount? Right off the bat. They don't even say good morning.
They all want.
They don't even say, hey, Juan, what's up? They be like, yo, where's my discount? When are you going to hook me up on sneakers? I was like, hey, you come buy me a pair of sneakers, I got you, man. At the end of the day, it's like, I read people out like a book. Like, I had this friend, my really close friend. I've known him since last year. His name is Saul. Shout out if he's in the live. He's been 100 with me. Like, he wasn't there for what I have. He was there for the real meaning of a friendship. He was there for who I was and, like, as a person. And I was like, hey, this guy's a pretty good guy. And he's like, he always had my back with everything. In a way, too, at the school.
Yeah.
Of course. And, you'd be like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? I'd be like, yo, why are you bothering Juan like that? He'll have my back in a way like that. And I appreciate that from him, too. Just people who can read right out. And all these kids my age, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're hanging out with their friends, they're doing that. I'm not really into that.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that. And I don't know, I don't see where that benefits me from. It gets me all drunk and it gets me all feel woozy for a couple hours. At the end of the day, the next day, you're done. And you're like, oh, I can't get up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Me personally, every day I'm trying to learn something new. Even if it's a word. Even if it's taking another step to do what I got to do. Just learning something every day. Listen, you learn how many years you got a span of a man living? At least 70 years, right?
Right.
You got 365 days in a year. You learn 365 things a year. Times that by 70 years. You're at least learning over I want to say at least 500,000 or 1 million things, if not more. If you learn twice or more than what you're learning, I take really big on that too.
It's really interesting. I got a question for you. What is your your screen time on your phone, your social media time? Are you you have a decent social media presence and kind of following? Are you one who's you get stuck focusing on that every day, or are you able to kind of separate yourself and, like you said, you get that extra hour a day or something, you can turn that into 365 hours a year or more? People are spending 4 hours a day. Are you one who can turn that into something?
Yes, I feel every time when I'm on my phone, I usually do business transactions, or if I'm not, I'm scrolling on Instagram trying to post something on my story. At the beginning, my dad was always, hey, you gotta get this network game up, and I was never posting. Okay. I was never posting nothing. I wasn't doing no videos, wasn't doing nothing, wasn't doing anything, and I was slacking at one point, and my dad was he said to me, he was listen, if you want to become a successful business owner, your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
That stuck with me. And one day I started posting. Every day I try to post something, even if it's a picture or just a lousy picture of a shoe that came out. I try to do something every day, something consistent. Consistency is key, Then I started making my own videos of certain events, going places Got Soul, or just random local events, making connections here and there. And I met a lot of people throughout that way too. I met this guy. He's getting big. His name's Kickamatics. Shout out to Kickamatics.
Yep. Yeah.
He came to my shop.
Oh, he did? Okay, cool.
He traveled an hour from Rhode Island to come to my shop.
That's awesome.
And I was like, wait, he really came? He came. He did the videos. He did the skit.
I saw that.
He does phenomenal work.
He did the skit, and I was like, hey, do you want me to charge you? He's like, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, you're not gonna charge me? He's like, no, I believe, He told me something. He was like, oh, I believe everybody can, we all get together. I believe, I respect people over money, people over profit. And I was like, oh man, that really stuck with me too. And I was like, hey, let me at least give you some stay focused and some one route sweaters. And he was like, all right. Gave it to him, sent him on his way, made him happy. I saw him on another God Soul too. And I was supposed to have a podcast with him, but that never really worked out because I got sick and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so he's a really good guy too. Really good guy.
Let's talk about Got Soul for a second. So you came to, were you at the Massachusetts one in September? You weren't at New York, right?
I always go to the DCU Center, the Massachusetts.
DCU, all right. So that's the first time I met you because I don't think we've been to this. Okay.
Yes.
So, for those who are unfamiliar, that was our third Got Soul.
Yeah.
And we go as a clothing brand, so we're trying to sell. We're trying to meet people. We usually don't sell that much. It's more of just trying to meet people and talk. Most sneakerheads who are there will carry around their, no offense, but they'll carry around their little wagon. They'll come up to your table and they'll just annoy you over and over and over again. And they just can't take a clue that you're not there to buy shoes and you're not there to sell them shoes. And I remember it took me a minute to realize it was you. until I noticed like a logo or something. I was like, okay, yeah, I know him. And then we gave you a catalog and whatever, because I know we had been talking about working together. But it was apparent you were with your mom.
I was with my mom.
Yeah, so he like comes up to the table and you were like, I think you must have, you knew who we were, but we didn't, like, I didn't make the connection. I was the only one at the table. We're like kind of talking, and you were there to actually talk to a person, have a conversation, and more talk about yourself and your brand. Not, and I don't mean that in a selfish way, but rather than to push shoes. Like, you weren't just there to sell shoes, and then that's how you kind of make the connection. And we kind of see that at Got Soul, and so the more, keep doing that, because we see, we went to New York too, and it's even worse in New York. And it's like, you know the people who are there who actually want to make connections, and the people who are there to just sell you stuff. And it's like, that's kind of the biggest difference in the entire industry that we've been able to see.
And,
I don't know.
And you know, that too. So I try to brand myself and sell sneakers at the same time.
Yeah.
When I was over at Boston Got Soul, you were on me and he saw me. He was like, "Hey, whoa, what's up?" And I was like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Come to my table. I gotta show you something." Went to the table. I met you.
Yeah.
And then that's where the time you guys were working on get your sneakers. And I was like, "Hey, can I get one of these?" He's like, "Sure." And you know, first appearances. When you meet somebody, you think the worst of them. I don't know. I'm that type of guy that be like, "Oh, this guy, man, he thinks he's the stuff. He's the tough guy." But then you actually get to know him. He's like, "Hey, this guy's a really nice guy." So that's why when people come up to me or I meet somebody or somebody I like who's in the business, I try to talk to them about my personal life in a way, but not be in a cocky way.
No, exactly.
But a humble way to know who I am, to not for you not to think for who you think I am. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So to get in a little outback of mine, to make close friendship too, or like just to tell you the truth, or not to lie to you or portray anything to you, just to tell you who I am as a person. You know, that I feel like presentation means a lot in the business aspect or in life in general.
Absolutely. I think that's why Got Soul is kind of the biggest way to see everything that you were talking about and your dad was talking about with network is your net worth. I think we've kind of like decided now that we're kind of done going like just to sell, but we get more out of it of just walking around and talking to every single person there, not trying to sell them anything, just kind of being like, just talk to them and meet people.
Even if you just go there just to talk to them, if you say something that they're gonna stick in their head, they're gonna tell their friends about what you just told them, and they're gonna tell their friend, and the word's gonna go on, and you're only gonna spread your business even further. Even if you gotta lose a couple bucks just to make them think in your head and remember you. Like, yo, take this pants. I'm gonna give them to you. Just shout me out or something, or tell people. They're like, yo, this guy just gave me $100 pairs of pants of his brand for free. And he's gonna appreciate it too. And he's, you know, that's
the brand side of it, and the other side is, I'm sure, walking around, you learned at least one thing from somebody, and you learn, you see stuff, you get ideas, and you bring it back, and you do it on your own side. But it's not purely transactional, and that's good that you can see that, because I think a lot of people that resell sneakers are stuck in that.
Yeah,
that's not the way to do it.
There's either two pairs of sneakers. There's people who wanna be there and who wanna make connections, and there's people who just wanna make $1 to pay their rent. Or just to screw people over with just some fake raps or something. There's two different types of people that I've learned so far in that aspect. And you know, every time I go to Got Soul, they always see me like, oh, this freaking kid, and I'll be like, hey, you want to get some sneakers? I just see them because they give me that look, like, this guy, and I'd be like, hey, you want some? No, I don't want them. They don't even look at the box. I was like, wow. It's like, how much for this? $250. You can't afford that, right? I was like, what? And I was like, matter of fact, I got this money in my pocket. And I'm not gonna buy. I'm gonna go to the next table and spend a bag on them. It's just like, cause they just see me and they be like, oh, this guy. But I'll give you my card. You can text me. We'll do this. We'll make business together in the future. And like they just see me and they be like, oh, what size you kid? Cause they think, cause since I'm there, they be like, oh, this kid's either shopping for himself or he's with a couple friends just trying to flex on them or show them off or something. And I'd be like, actually, no, I'm a reseller. They'd be like, what? Yeah. They'd be like, huh? Like, there's no way. I was like, yeah. He's like, what? Do you hear your friends? And I was like, no, I haven't been. He's like, no, wait, bro. They get out of my table. You don't believe me. And I was like, okay, man. And, you know, I just continued on my day. And, you know.
People do look at you like very, very differently when you start a business. Like, even like now is like, sometimes like, we'll talk to people like, oh, we're selling clothes. And people just like immediately think that we're just like, buying cheap things and then like just like throw a logo on it and like sell them for like quadruple the price. But it's like, no, like for example, like this baseball jersey, like we modeled it after like a Yankees jersey, like the bottom of this part came from the Dreamville logo, right? Like, this one Alex designed, like, purely. Like, every single piece that we do, it, like, comes with, like, a lot of meticulous, like, just thinking, right? Like, we really try to put, like, our stamp on it. Because we're not trying to do what everybody else does. Because then, like, who are we trying to be? Like, we're not trying to be like everybody. We want to do, like, our own thing. And just, like, we want to sell our own thing. And whether it sells or not, we look good. And then eventually people are like, yo, I like that. Let me go get one. I would never wear one of those before, but like since you're wearing it, you make it look good, and you made it. I like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, and like at the same time too, I know this is completely a little bit off topic, but when you came to me talking about for these suits, guys, if you haven't go shop some suits before it's too late, before they all sell out. Anyways, back to what I was saying. When you guys came to me, I was kind of testing you out in a way to see where your business and where your aspect was at. And what I've noticed, you guys really take pride in your work, even if it's not even your own brand. And that, I really took that into saying, you guys, like, yo, you really put, like, you put in the work like if it was your own brand. And I appreciate that for not only mine, but, you know, for what you guys are doing. And you guys are making a huge impact, not only in my life, but I can only imagine for other people in life too.
I appreciate that. It means a lot.
And yeah, you know, we did what we had to do. You know, they came in. I was happy. You was happy. Yeah. And I was like, man, that's the type of stuff that makes me want to do business again. That's why we're coming out with these spring suits. Spring suits coming out soon, by the way, too.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, so I just want to say that before anything else, so I won't forget.
No, I appreciate that.
No,
I really do.
That is the goal, and that's the goal of, like we've been saying the whole time too. You gotta make you gotta be happy. Person you're selling to is gotta be happy who you're buying from, and in our case, it's the other person too. Who are you gonna turn around and give this to? You're gonna turn around and sell this to people. Are they gonna be happy with the quality? I'm sure they were happy with the quality, and then also you took the time in the detail because you could appreciate the detail like we do, and the design means something. So you have the back on it. That's what's gonna spread your message and give that to other people, and that's
100%. Not only just the business, just the friendship aspect of it too. That I really did. And when you invited me to go to the college to go watch this guy for a couple hours to take notes to learn something new from another guy's perspective, that meant a lot too. And at the same time, you saw me. I tried to put other people on too to see if they were into it with my couple of friends. And, you know, we were just building relationships. We saw each other at the car meet at that event too.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, 100%. So
that's the thing too, is like, I feel like business isn't supposed to be just strictly transactional. I think that's the worst part about business. Is just like, it's more so the relationships. Like, if you, for example, if there was like a time when like you had a little bit of a problem with your order, and immediately I was like, yo, like, don't worry about it. If you need it, like, I'll refund you some money. Like, we can work it out. You know, like, no matter what you're doing in business, customer satisfaction is the most important thing, right? Like, if I did something and it upset you, boom, we just lost a long time business partnership. You know what I mean? So the relationship's the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself, for your business, and everything else. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. 100% agree with that too. Because like I said, man, if you make that one good connection, that guy's going to make another 100 connections.
Exactly.
Yeah. No one happy customer.
It's all a business aspect. You got 100%. You got to think about what he's thinking, one step ahead of him, or what he's thinking, just to try to see where he's at with you. You know, so
the transaction is the like lowest part of business. Business is people, and it's knowing people, connecting to people. I'm sure you know it too. I'm sure it's the same like for a barbershop, but in the restaurant business, if you can get someone to eat there 3 times and they're a customer for life, I bet if you think about that right now, anywhere you've eaten 3 times, you're gonna go. You've probably been there way more. And it's the same thing. If you go cut your hair and you like the barbers there, you like the atmosphere, you guys have all of that down. You get someone in there, you guys get probably the best. Can't think of the word right now, but what it would be like, they just keep coming back and they're here for you guys. And that's when they buy into it.
Yeah, and I always get some cues from my dad too. And like when he's cutting hair, I'll try to put that into my old business too. Like I'll be like, because one time he always had Saturday appointments from 6 a.m. till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he'll give them, you know, guys, you guys know what a hot towel shave is? Yeah. He'll do a hot towel shave on them without them asking for it. And he'd be like, yo, what was that? And he'd be like, don't worry about it. I'll give you for free. But what? I'm going to come back and get that every time I go there now. So he has an extra $50 in his pocket for just the hot towel shave and the cutting hair. Right. So I was like, dang, how can I do that for my own business in a way? Just like, okay, he bought 2 pairs of sneakers. you know what, $50 off, or $100 off,
or
take this pair of sneakers for free. Just pay for this one. He's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back here for all my sneakers, for my kids, for my friends, for everybody now.
Exactly.
So you gotta lose some to win some.
Because
I've learned that too. So
in that case, like you think about it, in online sales, you don't do online sales, but it translates. So in online sales, you got to spend a certain amount of money on whether it's advertising or even just effort. In your case, it's effort. How much does it take for you to find someone, talk to them, and get them to be a customer? But once you have them once, twice, 3 times, it's so much easier. And that's why you got to be a real person. People, even in sneakers, they're more of an expensive item, but people aren't really out there looking for the absolute cheapest deal. They're just going to go back to their guy. If you're that guy, that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Yeah, so to wrap it up, what we usually do is one thing that you're blessed with and one thing that you're envisioning for the future. So we'll start it with Owalid. We'll go down the line.
Well, we always start with me.
Well, I want to start with him.
You give good point.
Put him on the spot.
One thing that I'm blessed with, graduation, almost done with college, so very excited to graduate, very excited to see what the future holds for me. This is more of a blessed in Vision part, but like blessed to be graduating, and I'm just envisioning like how I can grow my business after graduation, how I can go to the next level with really like everything that I'm doing right now. So
I think mine's in a similar spot too, and they kind of combine, but blessed to be finished another semester. Still got a couple to go. And also blessed to have the time now to sit down and spend break really working on everything that we want to work on. I think in our case, both of us in school, we spend a whole semester kind of running everywhere, and it's nice to sit down, restart, go fresh into the new year. And so we're envisioning a nice, strong start to the new year.
Yeah.
Big things.
Oh yeah, this is probably our last podcast for the new year, right?
Oh wow.
Maybe.
This year went by very, very quick.
Thankful to be the last part for the year, man. I'm really blessed for my family, mentors, people who guided me in my life. When I talk about family, I talk about my mom, I talk about my father, I talk about my sister, I talk about my cousins. I talk about the barbers too. My barbers are my family. I talk about, I'm so blessed for, what Lord and the God has guided me and put me in my life with certain people like you guys and other people, and just I'm just so blessed for that, and I'm blessed for the Envision for the future. I'm blessed, and I can't wait to see what he has for me in the future as far as business and family wise and anything that comes in between. I just can't wait for what he has in store for us and for for everybody.
Excited to see you. Kid's 15 years old, guys.
15 years old is crazy.
All right. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me on this podcast.
Of course.
Won't be the last time.
I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir.
I am really blessed.
Go ahead and follow Juan. We'll plug all his socials, everything down below. Give it a like. Let us know what you think.
We're going to get these guys on the map, too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, do we have any questions?
Whack. Y'all just watch it.
Whack.
It's all right.
It's all good.
I'll probably post it anyway so they can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
Can
guys.
I save the part? Can I save it?
Probably. I don't know.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah, we got the videos. Don't worry.
All right.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace.